Hello, hello. Hoping everybody can hear me with these headphones. Hello, hello, as everybody joins in. If you could let me know that you could hear me, um, got new headphones, so I would just want to make sure that you can hear me on them. I'll disconnect them. So if you guys could just let me know that y'all can hear me, I appreciate it. Hello, guys. What is up? Can you guys hear me all right on these headphones? I got a new set of headphones. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me clearly. It's not muffled or um, you know. So if you guys could just let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me clearly. And then I'll dive into a topic real quick before we get started on some Q&A. So I'm gonna assume everybody can hear me. I'm not getting any responses back, so just gonna take a wild guess. Just taking a wild guess that you all can hear me. Yeah? Okay. Alright, thank you for that. Like, whoa, guys. we're not in the tippy tappies tonight. Is that it? Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so to dive in on this topic, I want to talk about the ego. A lot of people have been asking me, how does getting present or knowing that you are awareness allow you to manifest? And it has to do with the ego. The ego is going to try to tell you that you can't manifest unless you tell a new story. It can't manifest until you embody a new state. It can't manifest until you do this technique or that technique. And the reason why the ego does this is because it's built off of survival. It loves the chase. It doesn't love the receiving, because as soon as you receive something, it gets scared and it starts to panic and worry. What if we lose this thing? Because that's all it's ever known. So it tries to protect you. And that's when the insecurities start coming up. That's when the thoughts about this person's probably doing this, and that seems a little sketchy. That seems a little sus. Like, why are they acting like this? Why are they behaving that way? And then ultimately your manifestation goes right back out the door. It's because that's what the ego is built from, is the suffering. It was never meant to be able to really maintain anything when you're living from the ego itself. So there is no work to do. There is no embodying a new state or trying to tell a new story. Those things can work, but the only time that I've seen them to work is when you have no resistance to things. And by resistance, I mean when you're not identified with the ego, you have no attachment to outcome. You can give two shits if it happened or doesn't happen. You're not attached to a person or the thing. You're not attached to story. So that's like when people are able to manifest a free cup of coffee or the parking spot and all those random things, because they have no resistance. They could care less. If it happens, really cool, awesome. But if it doesn't happen, then they don't care. They'll move on, right? Um, so with that being said, embodying a new state isn't about shifting your self concept. Embodying a new state isn't about telling a new story. It's about letting go. Letting go of the old stories, letting go of your past, letting go of the resistance. And the way that we do that is by getting present. The way that we do that is taking our attention, which is usually placed on something that we want to experience in the future, Again, new self-talk, a new story, recreating a person, new beliefs, new affirmations, which are just new thoughts. And we try to do these things to distract ourselves, once again, from the present moment. And it's just the ego's way of keeping you stuck in this loop of the ego instead of actually being able to manifest. So embodying a new state is more about letting go of all of these things and just being. When you are just being, then you are present. You ever notice when you're doing something that you love, time just flies by? That's because you are present. That's because you're not playing in your mind with different stories. You are just living the experience in front of you. A lot of people get lost in the present moment when they are painting, when they are like athletes are really known for this, right? Because they're zoned out on what they're doing with if it's, shooting baskets, if it's making kicking goal, like whatever it is, they're lost in that present moment because they're passionate and love what they do. For me, I get lost in the present moment when I'm recording hypnosis sessions. I just zone out. I don't write out scripts or anything. I do a couple bullet points and I just, off the top of my head, straight from flow state, and go off, on whatever it is that that person wants to change their beliefs about. It's because that puts me in the present moment. I love it. It's so much fun. Making content, again, I'm lost in the present moment half the time. And I do this in coaching sessions too, because I love what I do. Half the time, I don't even know what I'm saying. It's just coming from a place of true, like, source energy. I mean, I'm speaking facts whenever, like, you guys have seen my videos. Um, and that's why they resonate so much, because it's speaking from like soul to soul. It's speaking from awareness to awareness. It's not coming from ego of trying to say the right hook or trying to convey a certain message to get certain kind of traction. I'm not doing any of those things to try to get viewers' attention. I'm just speaking as awareness, and it resonates with your awareness, you know? And time just flies. Like when I'm on these lives or when I'm recording content or in the hypnosis sessions, the time just flies. And that's because I'm present. So think about anything that you truly enjoy. Notice how time just flies. That's how you know that time, for one, is not real. It's part of the illusion of the ego to say it takes a certain amount of time to get this. It takes time for things to change. It takes time for the universe to say yes or to reprogram beliefs. And trust me, guys, I got caught in that loop too. With a hypnosis background, I was trained that it takes about 7 days to 21 days to reprogram beliefs and to rewire and Hebb's law and neuroplasticity of the mind. I was taught all these science terms of how long it takes to reprogram the mind, when all you got to do is get present. And by being present, the change happens automatically. By being present, you automatically embody a new state. You're already in the state of the wish fulfilled. Because if you were experiencing the bliss of your desire already manifested, you would be present, experiencing it. You wouldn't be trying to affirm yourself into experiencing it. You wouldn't be trying to have the self-talk that aligns to that experience. You would just be in the embodiment of the one who's experiencing it. And you would be perceiving everything from that lens. But the ego tries to tell you otherwise. Does that make sense, guys? So like I've been getting asked a lot in questions in my comments of like, but I'm trying to embody a new state, and I've heard you gotta, have your self-talk and whatnot, which again, yes, that stuff works. You can manifest from the ego. I'm not saying you can't, but it's very much effort based. I don't know about you, but I have way too much going on in my life. I don't need more effort. I don't need more things to do, more things to think about. So I want to do things in the most effortless way possible, where it's about my inner peace. It's not even about the manifestation anymore. That comes automatically. It's inevitable for the manifestation to come. Now, which path do I want to go down to get it? Do I want to take the effort, the long road of it? And I'm not saying long road as in the time that it takes for it to manifest. I mean the long road of having to reprogram and affirm and have the right affirmations and the right tense and to all of that, or would I rather just be present and experience my life, get out of my mind, which is telling me all the reasons why I don't have what I want and why I'm doubting and why I'm worrying and why it's so stressful to be here living this life. What's the point of life if, I can't have what I want, or I'm always abandoned, or I'm always heartbroken? Why would I want to stay in that mess? Why wouldn't I just get present, do the things that I love, experience life, and have inner peace? Because anytime that you're present and those thoughts aren't a part of that present moment, all you feel is inner peace. And it might not be something that happens right away, like the first time that you notice a thought and you bring your attention from the thought to the present moment and focusing on your breath, your body, or your surroundings. You might not have a true sense of bliss and inner peace in the moment, but as you practice, you'll notice, for one, your mind becomes calmer. For two, you're more like you're more aligned as the observer, not trying to change anything, fix anything, flip anything. You're just being, and you just feel happier. You just feel more at peace. You feel more bliss. Like, I'm trying to put it into words of like the state of the experience once you are present, but words don't do it justice, honestly. And I just made a video about that. But words don't do it justice. Okay. Let me go back up because I see a whole bunch of comments here. I missed a whole bunch of stuff. I go on these rants, guys. Makes sense. Lazy manifesting. And it's not truly even lazy. It might be, again, by the ego. And I know you're just joking, but it might be from the sense of the ego and that perception. It may seem like it's lazy because the ego loves doing, but when you are home as awareness, you understand everything already exists within you, that there's nothing to do. All you have to do is be. Well, why do we call it a state of being? Why are we called human beings? Well, because there's nothing to do other than be. But the human self of us says that there's stuff to do, there's action to take. The action comes naturally. You'll be moved by awareness towards your end desire, but it won't even feel like you're being moved. So, like the video I made today, which will be up on my YouTube channel, I don't know, in a week or two, because I'm ahead. But anyways, so the video I made today, I talked about how I went from like not really feeling inspired to make content. It was maybe once a month on YouTube I would make content. And I will only create content if I feel inspired and if I feel like it's coming straight from awareness. I won't do it if I feel pressured or forced or like I'm on the time of an algorithm or some shit. I could care less. So I I decided I had this desire that I want to help raise the collective consciousness, and to really get this message out there. If it's my message, if it's somebody else's message, like I just want it to really get out there in the world and for people to know that you don't have to effort your way into manifestation. You can just live your life and experience awareness, and things will just naturally unfold in the direction of what you do want, with your manifestations just effortlessly coming to you. And after that desire, I felt really inspired to start making content, and I just started banging out content. I was moved. It didn't feel like any effort at all. And I mean, think about it now on TikTok, I'm posting 3 videos a day, and I'm at least a week into a week and a half ahead. So I could go over 7 days without recording a single video, and I will still be able to post 3 times a day. And same with YouTube. I'm about 2 weeks ahead. And that's 3 videos a week on my public page and 3 videos a week on my membership. So that's 6 videos for 2 weeks ahead. That's a lot of content that I naturally just felt inspired to do because I had this desire. I accepted that desire. I didn't come up with stories on what I was going to make, how I was going to do this, what was going to happen. how I'm going to plan for all of this, what topics I need to talk about. I did none of that. I literally just grabbed my phone and just started recording off the top of my head. Just felt inspired, felt creative, and that's what I did. And that's what I've been doing. So again, you will naturally just be moved to do these things. You don't have to understand why you're moved to do these things. It will just be effortless. And like I said, it was like pulling teeth for me to make content before, especially long form content. Now it's just I'm in the zone, guys, and I'm putting out some like bangers, like some shit I wish I had back when I was learning this stuff. Um, but that I'm just telling you that you don't have to worry about how you are going to get there when you're present and you continue to identify with presence, or not even, I don't even want to use that word. It's not even identify with presence. Just be present and taking your awareness off of um, the thoughts, the feelings, the stories, or trying to tell a new story and trying to change your beliefs or the affirmations or getting the right affirmations. If you can take your attention off of those things and just be present, the ego's going to try to kick and scream and whatever, but if you continue to do that, it will get quiet. And then you'll effortlessly just be moved, or things will effortlessly be moved to you to receive your manifestation. Again, if it's that specific person coming to you or whatnot. We've overcomplicated manifestation. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Um, okay, let's see here. Yeah, always do what your heart desires. Yeah, for sure. Why is this wobbling? Sorry. Oh man. All right. Yeah, so attachment to the outcome is all coming from the ego. And it is going to um, make you feel like you are suffering, right? That's what attachment is. Attachment says, I need to hold on to this thing, and I'm literally suffocating it because I'm so scared it's going to leave me. But nothing can ever leave you. You are awareness. You are the space that holds everything within it. You are everything, honestly, right? That's what God is, omnipresent. It's all things, it's everywhere. It's the presence of life itself. And that's being manifested through you, as you, right? So, with that being said, anytime that you are attached to something, that's saying, I don't believe I am this awareness, this omnipresent force that is behind everything. I'm identifying with the little me. I'm identifying with the ego. I'm identifying with someone who believes I can lose something. But nothing can ever be lost because it's all within you. It's all you. Now, can you misplace it? Yes. And the way that you misplace it is by not remembering you are awareness. That's when it will look like there's like a veil between you and what you want, or between you and the abandonment, or you and the loss of something. But it just like any veil or any curtain, you can open the curtains and see again. Just by waking up and remembering, I'm awareness. I'm everything. I can never lose anything. So there is no reason to feel attached. The ego is attached. But you're not your ego. You're not your thoughts. You're not your stories. You're the presence behind it all. And that's what's really cool about this life that we're living, guys. We have all the power. It might not feel like that at times because of the suffering and whatnot that comes from the ego. We are a lot of times, so I mean, me personally, I was so identified with my ego, so identified with my thoughts. Like I remember thinking multiple times. I'm so happy nobody can hear what's going on in my mind because I was just so negative. Um, what? I don't think it. I don't think a guy would like your looks because I'm not into guys. Um, all right, so let's see here. Yeah, going into the present moment definitely does take practice, right? And you don't just do it when you're meditating, because we have a really good practice of like, well, meditate, but as soon as you're out of the meditation, you go right back into story. That past comes right back up to bite you in the ass. And the reason why that happens is because, yes, in meditation, you're allowing yourself to just be and to be present, but as soon as you're out of meditation, you don't bring that with you. You don't bring that presence with you. So when I talk about presence, it's doing it in your daily life. So, like, what I do is practice presence at all times. Not that I'm always present, but I practice returning to presence at all times. So, as soon as you become the observer and you start to observe your thoughts, you start to observe your body, you start to observe your feelings, your surroundings, and not identifying with it, not giving anything meaning, not judging anything, just allowing it all to be there. Okay? Then what I will do is say a thought stands out to me or a circumstance comes to the surface to where my attention is grabbed by it. As soon as I notice that thought, that feeling, that circumstance, because I'm observing it, I'm able to then take my awareness and be like, oh, I don't need to be, why am I thinking about this right now? Or, oh, I see that. So interesting. And I take my awareness and put it back on my breath, my body, my surroundings. Or just go back to doing what I was doing before my awareness had been captured by, again, a thought or something. So it doesn't happen, I'm not perfect with it. There are times where I will get lost in thought or story, or a circumstance will pop out to me and I'll have that knee jerk reaction towards it. But then I will catch myself and be like, oh, what am I doing? And I'll go right back into presence. That's what we need to start doing and practicing it with all things. So like, if I'm contemplating, what content am I going to create tomorrow? Am I going to do this topic, that topic? And I'm getting lost in like thought of what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There's only the now. So I take my attention, recognize, oh shit, what am I doing? I don't need to worry about that. Worry about it in the moment, and it will feel natural in the moment. I'm going to bring my attention back to now. Then, a few moments go on, and, maybe it's like an hour later, and I'm thinking about what am I going to make for dinner? I don't know. I'm kind of thinking this, but I'm also craving this. And then again, my attention has been divided. I'm focusing on different things outside of me. I'm focusing on, something that isn't in the present moment. Say it's lunchtime and I'm worried about dinner. Again, I will take my attention and place it on the present moment. As soon as I notice, my attention was elsewhere. And those mundane moments train you for when like the quote unquote bigger things come up. So like when your SP texts you and you're feeling triggered in that moment, you're able to then observe it because you had enough practice where you're doing this with mundane things that don't trigger you. Now you're able to observe it and be like, I don't need to stress about this. I'm just going to be present and go right back into your breath, your body, and your surroundings. Feel effortless, feel natural. or like if a circumstance comes up that really like stands out to you, whatever grabs your attention, or like for me, again, whatever grabs my attention, I notice it, that it grabbed my attention. I will probably ask myself, is this something I need to think about right now? Or is it thinking about something I need to do tomorrow, or thinking about something from my past, or thinking about what I need to do later on in the day? If so, which 99.99% of it is that, I will take my attention and place it back on the present moment. And that's how you train that muscle. I can't tell you if you should sell your car or not sell your car. That's a choice you got to make. Um, the reason why it sounds impossible to have what you desire is because you're identified with, like, with effort. You're identified with ego. You're identified with story. So your ego is going to tell you it's going to be really challenging. It's really not. It just takes a little bit of practice to go from thought to notice that thought, to be the observer, to be the one watching thought, letting that thought go, because now you're placing your attention on your awareness. You're so used to giving your attention to your thoughts, to your stories, to your affirmations, and your attention has been divided for so long, and you've been identified as the character of trying to manifest, you know. But let me ask you this, right? So you've been trying to manifest, and you've been doing different techniques, and you've been putting in the effort. Where have you gotten? How long has it been on your journey to where you've been doing this, and how far have you gotten? You just said it feels impossible that you're going to get your desires, so you clearly don't have your desires. So the definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing and expect different results. Clearly what you're doing isn't working like the way that you would want. So clearly it's time to try something different. And all I'm asking you to do, to show yourself, to prove it to yourself, is take your attention from your thoughts and put it on your breath or your body or your surroundings, and continue to do this and practice that. It's like building a muscle. And by doing so, you'll have inner peace. You'll have inner trust. And you'll start seeing things reflected because your state of being has shifted. You're in the state of neutrality now. You're in the state of peace now. You're in the state of flow now. And that's where things can effortlessly manifest. Um, After you are good with or without your manifestation, you need to start visualizing. You don't have to visualize at all. You'll notice when you are just in the state of neutrality, visuals might just come to you. You aren't forcing anything, but even when those visuals come to you, you can acknowledge, okay, cool, that's done. Let me return to presence. Um, Again, there's nothing for you to ever have to do other than be. So, you're asking, after, when you're at that point of, I don't care if I have it, if I don't have it, so do I need to continue to visualize? My question to you is, if you had the full manifestation, would you be visualizing for it? The answer is no. So again, if you've already reached that place where you're good with it or without it, then you're already in a place where attachment has dissolved. So now it's just time to be. Now it's just time to enjoy your life, do things that make you feel good, do things that are fulfilling. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all you ever had to do. And just trust that it's done. Trust that you are awareness. You are source. Because that's another big part of this, is trusting that you are this. It's one thing to say it. Oh yeah, no, I see all these manifestation coaches and they say I'm awareness, they say I'm source of everything, and yeah, cool. Where's my manifestation? Let me do this technique. That's one of the biggest things. You need to know that you are the source behind everything. Everything is a projection of your consciousness. That's one of the biggest things, right? Let me see. Yeah, meditation can definitely help, but I'm saying when you're outside of the meditation, you don't have to sit there and I'm gonna exaggerate here, but you don't have to sit there and do for 2 hours a day for you to get your manifestation. You want to take that same concept of what you're doing in meditation, which is being present, allowing thought to be there and pass by like clouds in the sky, and apply that in daily life as you're moving around, as you're walking. I think Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it a walking meditation, with your eyes open and you are just zoned out in the present moment, in the state of flow, not concerned with thoughts. And when I say zoned out, it's not daydreaming, it's not fantasizing about, a future that hasn't come yet or anything like that. You are literally just being present. So I use the example all the time when you're making a sandwich. Be present making that sandwich. Don't be lost in thought of what you need to do, or the random thoughts of my ex cheated on me, that asshole, I can't believe that. And I used to make them this kind of sandwich and they loved it. They said they loved it, yet they still left me. And going down the rabbit hole that your mind is trying to pull you into. Again, just make the damn sandwich and be present. Be present as you're holding the knife and spreading the mayonnaise or whatever, or the peanut butter, and what it feels like to hold that, what it feels like to have the bread in your hand or whatever you're doing to make that sandwich, or whatever the ingredients are. Be present as you are doing those things and experiencing it, instead of being lost in thought, instead of sitting there affirming a future when you're just ruining the now. you know just enjoy where you are currently at, even if it's not where you want to be. There's nothing wrong right now with you making a sandwich. There is no problems here. Your mind tries to pull you back into, but there are problems. But the problems are just existing in your mind. Your mind's trying to remind you that in the external 3D world that you're living in, that your life does have problems. But in that moment, when you're making a sandwich, there is not a problem. You're literally just making a sandwich. So be present when you're making that sandwich. It's such a basic example, but it's the truth. How many times have you gotten lost in your thoughts when you're doing something so mundane? It's because our thoughts have so much of our power and so much of our attention that we don't even notice it. We don't even notice how often we are not being present and not just experiencing life, because we're so lost in thought. And then we create an identity out of manifestation, to where we could be outside, a beautiful day, the sun's shining, birds chirping, the grass is green, it's fresh cut grass in the air, beautiful trees with all their leaves on them. And it could be the most beautiful day that you are walking around on the sidewalk or on a walking trail, and you're sitting there lost in thought, affirming like a banshee, right? Not enjoying anything that's around you, even though it's so beautiful, because you've created an identity out of manifestation. when instead you could have just enjoyed that present moment, enjoyed that walk that you were on and the experience that comes with that walk, including all of your senses or some of your senses, and that would have gotten you results a hell of a lot faster. Plus, you would have felt inner peace, inner calmness, maybe a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the life that is coming from you. I see that there's some trolls in the chat. I see you. I do. And I'm going to let you be there because you don't faze me. So, thank you. Thanks for being here. At least my message is getting through to you. So, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. But thank you for being here, trolling or not. I'll hold space for you. But yeah, so the present moment is powerful. When we get out of the ego and we understand that all of this is just a projection of us, that's where the game changes, right? It's all consciousness. That's when you can start to experience your manifestations, which is just a bonus to experiencing your inner peace, right? It's all about the inner peace. That's what this game is really about. Connecting with that peace within you. Because that peace has always been there, but the ego tries to tell you, no, it hasn't. When has your life been peaceful? When has anybody had your back or supported you or loved you? Maybe temporarily, but then they show their true colors. We have all of these stories to tell you that life can't be peaceful, but truly it can. Truly it can. Alrighty. Alright, so I'm not seeing any other questions, but so I'm gonna stay on for a little bit longer, I guess, and see if any more come in. But oop, almost. But I think the other aspect to all of this is understanding that it's more than, like, manifestation is more than just manifesting a specific person. That person's not separate from you. That person has the same beingness within them that's within you. And I think that that's really important to understand and to see. Because a lot of times we see people for their wounds. We see people through our own perception of our wounds. And then we hold them in that state. We hold ourselves in that state. And then wonder why we're experiencing shit behavior from somebody else and why we feel like shit. Because that's literally what we're projecting out. We're projecting out either from our wounds or we're projecting out and taking it personal from other people's wounds. So when you begin to recognize that you are awareness and be present, you're able to hold space for people that are hurt, people that are suffering. You're able to hold space for that specific person that once, probably also had the fear of being abandoned, had the fear of you hurting them. Everyone has their own wounds and you're just holding space for those. And you're able to do that once you're not reacting from your own wounds, your own traumas, your own hurt and pain and suffering. And the way that you do that is by getting present, getting out of the mind, because the mind is always going to keep you in the mode of suffering. You went out and then someone came in and looked like your SP. Cool. It's all just a projection of your consciousness, right? So that's why it even stood out to you. You've probably been, I don't know, affirming or visualizing or some sort of mental attention on that person, and then it got reflected back to you because your physical 3D reality is a mirror to you. So it had to get reflected back in some sort of way. So that's why it caught your attention. Oh, that looks like my SP because I've been sitting here thinking about my SP nonstop. Now, why wasn't it your SP? Well, that's because you have story around your SP. So it came through the path of least resistance, the path where you don't have any story. But this is a really cool example how you got to see the mirror. You got to see what you were mentally thinking about be expressed back to you. To where someone could be what was it, a doppelganger to your specific person. When before your person came into your awareness, you probably never met anybody that, or even saw anybody that looked like them. They're one of a kind. And all of a sudden you see that they're really not that one of a kind. A lot of people look like them. You're seeing examples all over. That's very common. Very common. Yeah, they're total twins. Yeah, see? Makes sense. Yeah, so even with your family, again, everyone is you. So it makes sense that even your family is mirroring back. Oh, hey, I saw somebody that looks like so and so. Look just like them. It's because it's all you. It's your consciousness. Everything in this world is your consciousness. I'm on lesson 14 of A Course in Miracles. And one of I don't know why, but it hit different hearing it today when I was reading through that course, or that lesson. And the lesson today was about um, God created nothing. It's all just a projection of your consciousness. I mean, I'm summarizing it, but that's the summary of what the message was. It's all you. The good and the bad. It's all you. It's all projection. That's not to shame or blame, like you created, or there's earthquakes in this world, and there's tsunamis, and why would anyone create that level from their consciousness? It's all you. There is no good or bad. But just understand, God created none of it. And for a lot of people, that probably triggers somebody. But it resonated with me on such a deep, deep level because I understand that it really is all just consciousness. It all just is. That it's all meaningless, and humans, and each individual human, assigns whatever meaning to life that they want in the things in life. That's why there's different words and different labels for people's actions or behaviors, or different words or labels for, random things in life. So like the other day, um, I was in group and somebody mentioned the difference between, like, here in America, we say pounds for like weight, for like somebody's weight. And in England, or I believe it's England, um, they call it stones. So I don't know, like 150 stones is what that person weighed. Now, why is there two different names for the meaning of the same thing? It's because we assign meaning to everything. We label everything. There is no right or wrong. And that means it can be changed, and whatever can be changed isn't true. The only truth is the constant, which is awareness, which is source itself. The rest is just an illusion. The rest is just a projection. Getting deep here on TikTok Live. Yeah, so 14 pounds equals 1 stone. Um, yeah, but pounds isn't pounds. So the way that she was explaining it is you use pounds for money, right? So I have, I don't know, 15 pounds, which would be like, isn't that like 20 or, it's like $10 more for US. So we'll say like $20, whatever the exchange rate is nowadays. But anyways, um, what stones she said was related more towards like somebody's, like your weight, or like when they're weighing something. Right? But again, it just goes to show you that there's different labels out there for the exact same thing. Now, why is that? If meanings were true, then there would be one meaning for one thing, and it would be universal. But it's not, because it comes down to perception. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the like most profound things that I've learned on this journey, right? Is that life is meaningless, and you as a character or as a identification with the ego will assign meaning to whatever. Like, and Eckhart Tolle talks about it as well. He explains in, I'm trying to think what, there was a lecture that he did, like, I don't know, it's probably 10 or 15 years ago. And in this lecture, he talks about a leaf. And um, he talks about the story of how, like, a mother is showing a child a leaf for, like, the first time, where they can comprehend, like, what it is. And usually what a mother does is label it, oh, that's a leaf. That's a brown leaf from this kind of tree, and it's fallen because it's fall time, it's autumn, and it has all of this story and identification and meaning behind each thing. But the child, before it had any of those labels, saw it and was just experiencing the color of something, maybe the texture of something, the shape and size of something. It was just experiencing what it truly is with no labels, no meanings, because nothing has meanings, nothing has labels until we're told that it's this. That's what that means. When the leaves fall, it means it's autumn time, and the child wouldn't know that. And then the child grows up and then has the same societal belief. Oh, the leaves are falling. It must be autumn time. Isn't that interesting? I find this stuff so fascinating, guys. Hey, well explained. Awesome. Uh, yeah, I never knew that the difference between pounds and stones. Um, and then I guess stones are still called stones, like actual physical rocks and pebbles are stones. Interesting to me. Never been to England though, so makes sense why I don't understand it. Um, we do things so different in America. Maybe not always for the better, but um, yeah, it's interesting here. But all right, guys, I'm not seeing any questions. I could stay with you if I go to England. Yeah. I've actually always wanted to go. I appreciate it. I appreciate the offer. One day I will visit. But I've always wanted to go to Scotland. I've always had a pull to go visit Scotland. Um, so maybe one day I'll head out there and go to Scotland. I want to do Scotland, Bali. What was the other places? Um, Spain. I think that'd be really cool. There's a few different places on my list that I'd like to travel to. Are you really? You're Scottish? Dope. Dope. The accent. Love it. Picasso, I like it. Love it. That's really cool. Mhm. Mhm. And each part of Scotland has a different. It's kind of like the same in the states, right? Where you have different. I think even in England too, but you have different accents. So like some of the Scottish accents are way thicker. I've noticed like you can't understand what they're saying because they talk so fast and they have such a thick accent. But then there's other Scottish folk out there that I've heard them talk. This is all on the internet, of course. It's not like I know anybody from Scotland, but anyways, I've heard them talk, and it's easier for me to comprehend what they're saying for when they talk a lot slower, and for two, their accent isn't as thick. You can still tell that they're from, Scotland, but there's a difference. So I've noticed that as well with the thickness of the accents. Oh, it's the slang. What's question? What's greetings? I don't know. I don't know what greeting means. You're saying in Scotland or like here? Because greeting here is like a hello, welcome. Okay. So if someone's crying, you call it greeting? I can't say it. I'm probably not saying it. I wish I could do it a Scottish accent, but every time I watch, that show on Netflix called Outlander. Every time I hear them talking, I practice it. I butcher it. Same with a British accent. I butcher it. I just not good. I wish I was better at accents, but I'm not. But everyone says I have an accent, so makes sense. Yeah, Outlander is one of my favorite shows. Um, but yeah, everyone says I have a. I don't have a. They wouldn't consider me a New York accent. That everyone that I've talked to, like from other states, have said they think I have a Canadian, like a border Canadian accent, which makes sense because I'm only a couple hours away from Canada. But I don't notice it. Okay, so on that note, I gotta get out of here and we're gonna skedaddle. Um, Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. If you did again want to work together, you can check out coaching services. I have the mini courses. If you want to join my group, I have the Conscious Integration Circle we do every Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST. If you want to join that, um, and we also have the YouTube membership. If you want to go follow me over on YouTube, everything is linked below or linked in the not below, up in that thing, and then on my profile. So you can go check out all of those things. I appreciate you guys, but I think it's almost what time is it? It's like bedtime. It's not. These headphones, man, keep falling out because I move a lot. My bad. But yeah, guys. So on that note, I think I'm gonna go. How do you gain confidence um, in your startup? So understand that you are already confident. Okay, that's not separate from you. Confidence is who you are. Your ego tries to tell you based off of stories that you aren't confident, that there's something that you need to do to become confident. But as soon as you let go of story, as soon as you let go of your past and like what the ego is trying to tell you, and the effort and the trying to become confident, and you just get present, then you'll notice that the confidence and naturally happens, and your startup just naturally starts to unfold to where it's thriving. Okay. All right. So on that note, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Remember, as awareness, you got this, guys. You got this. Bye, guys. And I will see you in the next one. Remember, as awareness, you got this, guys. You got this. Bye, guys.